Most people think being broke is about how much money they make. It's not. I've watched someone earning $38,000 build more wealth in 3 years than their colleague making 95,000 built in a decade. Same city, same cost of living, completely different financial realities. The difference wasn't income. It was a mental framework that makes staying broke mathematically impossible once you understand it. Here's what nobody explains properly. Your brain defaults to a spending first mindset because that's how you were trained. You earn money, you see what's available, you spend until it's gone, then you hope something's left over. This sequence guarantees you'll stay broke regardless of how much you earn. I'm going to walk you through the exact thinking pattern that flips this script entirely. The shift starts with recognizing a brutal truth about salaries. Your paycheck is designed to keep you functional, not free. You can earn six figures and still feel financially stressed because income alone doesn't create wealth. It creates the illusion of wealth while trapping you in a cycle where you're always one emergency away from crisis. Look at how actual wealth gets built. Jeff Bezos didn't get rich from his Amazon salary. He got rich because he owned Amazon. The Forbes list isn't filled with the hardest workers or the longest hours logged. It's filled with people who own things that generate value without their constant presence. Founders, investors, people who built systems that work while they sleep. The trap is believing that earning more solves the problem. It doesn't. I've seen people get $20,000 raises and somehow end up more stressed about money 6 months later. Their lifestyle expanded to match their income, and they're back to the same paycheck-to-paycheck existence at a higher price point. What actually changes everything is asking a different question. Instead of, how do I make more money? Start asking, what do I own? Not physical possessions. Assets, skills that scale, systems that generate value independently, streams of income that don't require trading your time directly for dollars. Until you own something, you're owned by something. Your rent owns you. Your car payment owns you. Your credit card balance owns you. This isn't motivational talk, it's mechanical reality. Every fixed expense you commit to is a claim on your future income. Stack enough claims and your entire paycheck is spoken for before you even receive it. Breaking this cycle requires a framework that removes decision fatigue from the equation. Discipline fails because it demands constant choices. Every single day, you're choosing between saving and spending, between investing and delaying gratification. That's exhausting. Your willpower depletes. Eventually, you crack. Wealthy people don't have superior willpower. They have superior structures. They automate, they allocate. They decide once and let the system run without requiring daily discipline. This is where the thinking shifts from effortful to inevitable. The framework is simple. 4 buckets, 4 percentages, 0 negotiation. 20% goes to growth before you see it. 10% goes to stability as a buffer against chaos. 60% covers your actual essentials, not the inflated version you've convinced yourself you need. 10% is for guilt-free enjoyment so you don't burn out and sabotage everything. This works on $2,000 monthly and on $10,000 monthly. The percentages scale, the structure stays constant. Most people do the exact opposite. They spend first, save whatever's left, which is usually nothing, and never invest. This framework flips that sequence. You pay your future first, protect yourself second, live third, enjoy fourth. Watch what happens to someone who implements this consistently. That 20% allocated to growth becomes the difference between working until 70 and having options at 50. It's not about the amount initially, it's about the compounding effect of putting your future self first every single time, without exception. Pay yourself first isn't a cute phrase, it's an operational strategy. If you wait until the end of the month to invest whatever's left over, nothing will be left over. We automatically expand spending to fill available resources. The only way to break this pattern is to remove the money before you can spend it. Automate a transfer the day your income hits your account. Not when you remember, not when you feel motivated, automatically. The money moves from checking to investment accounts before you mentally allocate it elsewhere, before you see it sitting there, looking spendable. Time beats amount every single time in this game. A 25-year-old investing $500 monthly until 35, then stopping completely, will have more at 65 than someone who starts at 35 and invests $500 monthly until retirement. That's compounding. Starting now, even small, matters exponentially more than waiting to invest big later. But where does that 20% actually go? That's what determines whether this framework builds real wealth or just creates the illusion of progress. This isn't about chasing individual stocks or timing market swings. You're building a foundation across what works consistently. Start where risk is lowest. High-yield savings accounts and government bonds protect capital while earning more than traditional savings. Boring? Absolutely. But preservation matters as much as growth when you're beginning. Next comes broad market exposure through index funds. This is where the majority of your growth allocation belongs. You're buying the entire market, not gambling on individual companies. The S&P 500 has averaged around 10% annually over decades. You're not trying to beat the market. You're matching it consistently, which most active traders fail to do. Here's what nobody emphasizes enough. The highest return investment isn't financial at all, it's yourself. High-income skills accelerate wealth faster than any asset class. Learn copywriting, sales, coding, video editing, digital marketing. A $2,000 course that increases your earning potential by $20,000 annually delivers a 10 times return in year one. No stock provides that reliability. Real estate exposure comes through investment trusts. You own property portfolios for the price of a single share. Dividends from rent, potential appreciation, zero landlord headaches. It's passive, liquid, diversified. Individual stocks come later, but not through day trading or chasing trends. You're buying ownership in companies you understand and believe will exist in 20 years. Utilities, consumer staples, healthcare. Diversify across sectors, hold through downturns. Wealth builds through time in the market, not timing it. For those with high risk tolerance and solid financial bases, online businesses offer asymmetric upside. Digital products, service businesses, content creation. Income not tied to hours worked, but build your foundation first. Alternative assets like Bitcoin, gold, collectibles carry high volatility and require deep knowledge. Don't invest in what you can't explain. If you can't articulate why an asset has value, you're speculating, not investing. The smartest strategy fails without execution. Execution isn't about intelligence, it's about removing friction. Set up monthly transfers the day income hits your account. Not when you remember. Not when you feel motivated. Automatically, money moves from checking to investment accounts before you see it, before you mentally allocate it elsewhere. But transferring isn't investing. Cash sitting in a brokerage account earning nothing wastes potential. The transfer should trigger the purchase. Index funds, ETFs, whatever your strategy demands. Automate the entire sequence. Income arrives, money moves, assets purchased. Now focus on the real lever. Earning more. Wealthy people don't obsess over saving an extra 2%. They obsess over increasing income by 20, 50, 100%. Learn higher value skills, negotiate raises, build side income, scale contributions over time. A disciplined system on 4,000 monthly is good. The same system on 8,000 monthly transforms your life. Most people think they have a money problem. They have a stability problem. One car repair becomes credit card debt. One medical bill derails 6 months of progress. They're one emergency from financial collapse. That's what the 10% stability allocation solves. This isn't an investment. It's protection. The buffer preventing you from liquidating growth assets at the worst possible moment. When markets drop 30% and you need 3,000 for an emergency, you're not forced to sell at a loss. You pull from stability. Yes, calculate it simply. Add monthly essential expenses. Rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, minimum debt payments. Multiply by 5 or 6. That's your target. Spending $2,500 monthly on essentials means $12,500 to $15,000 in this fund. Where does it live? Somewhere with immediate liquidity, zero volatility, small but reliable yield. High-yield savings accounts work perfectly, 4 to 5% currently, keeping pace with inflation. Money market funds work too. The point is accessibility without risk. Building this takes time. Automate small transfers, even 100 or 200 monthly accumulates. Critical rule, the moment you use this fund, replenish it immediately. Treat it like a loan to yourself that gets repaid before anything else. This fund won't make you rich. It keeps you from going broke when life happens. And life always happens. The 60% essentials cap forces brutal clarity. Housing, food, transportation, utilities, insurance. That's it. Everything else is luxury disguised as necessity. Living below your means isn't deprivation, it's strategy. The final 10% is structural sustainability. Your fun fund, guilt-free spending that prevents burnout. As income grows, so does this allocation. Use it for whatever brings joy. Concerts, dining out, hobbies, travel. No justification required. Experiences outlast objects. A dinner with friends creates memories. A new gadget creates clutter. The dopamine from buying something fades in days. The story from a weekend trip lasts years. When you know 10% is allocated purely for enjoyment, you stop feeling guilty spending it. When guilt disappears, you stop compensating with impulsive purchases that don't even satisfy. You spend less overall because you're spending deliberately. The 20% compounds. Skills multiply income, assets appreciate. You're building momentum requiring no constant attention. The 10% stability fund means emergencies don't destroy progress. The system sustains because it's not built on deprivation. You build wealth quietly. No need to impress anyone. Wealth isn't appearance, it's options. Freedom to say no. Ability to take risks. Choice to work because you want to, not because you must. Follow this daily and staying broke becomes impossible. Start implementing this framework today, not tomorrow. Set up those automated transfers right now while you're thinking about it. Calculate your 20%, your 10% stability target, your 60% essentials cap. Write the numbers down. Make them real instead of theoretical. The person earning $38,000 who built wealth while their $95,000 colleague stayed broke? They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't wait until they earned more. They started with what they had, applied this exact framework, and let mathematics do the rest. You're not broke because you don't earn enough. You're broke because you're playing a game where the rules guarantee you lose. Change the rules. Own assets instead of just earning income. Automate instead of relying on discipline. Allocate strategically instead of spending reactively. The framework is simple. 4 buckets, 4 percentages, 0 negotiation. 20% to growth, 10% to stability, 60% to essentials, 10% to enjoyment. That's it. That's the entire system separating people who build wealth from people who just earn money. Everything else is execution. Set it up once, let it run, watch what compounds over time. The thinking pattern that makes staying broke impossible isn't complicated. It's just different from what you've been doing. Different works. What you've been doing doesn't. Choose accordingly.